All right, we're back for our second episode. Corey was supposed to be our first one, but he was on the phone or something happened. So now he's number two. But I got Corey Adamson, head coach, player, general manager with me. How's it going, Corey?
It's going well, man. Going well. I apologize.
We
the
had to
same
fill
job
in some
titles, so
kid.
now I
I
have
don't even know who he
too many
is.
phone calls.
Who's the kid I just had on? I don't even know.
Some
He was
child,
available, so
some child, some child
I don't
grabbed the camera, jumped on.
I don't know if you saw that intro video, but what I was thinking when I was watching that, I was like, I'm gonna have to just hire a film crew to go out and get some video of me shooting and stuff because people deserve to see Hat Trick Haines. And
They've
if I
been
come out of
waiting for it, man.
retirement,
They've been wanting to see that for a long time. We haven't given them a show yet.
I know and I want to give the fans what they want so bad.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. But Corey, you've been working hard getting the roster together. You've been, kind of doing everything. So this week was a busy week for us. We announced our first 4 players. 5 if we count you. I don't count you as in that mix, but 4 new players announced.
I'm not a person. I don't count.
No. You're the legend, Corey Adamson.
No.
So
I'm the nuisance.
So talk to us about those first 3 that we signed.
Yeah.
We signed 1 on the men's team, 2 on the female team, and we found 2 of them from open tryouts.
Yeah. Well, Jordy's. Man, he's gonna be something special in this league. I got a feeling.
He's a beast too. What's he like? 6'3"?
He's a big boy.
4?
A big, strong guy. He's real competitive. He picked up the game really quickly at tryouts. When I jumped on the field, he wanted to go body in the corner, and we stood each other up. It was like, oh, all right, we gotta get.
Come on, man! You did not hold your ground against that dude.
Okay, we can take the tapes, but that's fine. Hey, we'll both get in the way and we'll see what's up. But yeah, man.
He is a beast. I can't wait to see because indoor
very, very sound. He for a guy that size, he's very, very fast, very quick. The ball skill obviously was fantastic. So that was definitely one that right away I feel like we filled a major hole in our lineup. Getting that big guy up top that can hold the ball and kind of dish to players and stuff like that. And
are you gonna have him as target or where are you gonna put him? I mean, he's got that body for like a.
Yeah, we're gonna have kind of what I would call like a 2 deep offense where, or at times a 3 deep where, our main goal is try and get it in early, try and get it off the boards, try and have the big guy like him just hold the ball up and he gets to make the decision. He's either going to find a pass and we'll keep a little bit of possession or split on a double team, or we're going to be able to use him to just spin defenders, little boy him, and roof it top corner. So, but he's definitely got the skill set, the physical qualities that you want. Very coachable, very excited about this kid.
Well, the cool thing is from the open tryout too.
Right.
So, I mean,
exactly.
It's like you found the diamond in the rough and, he wasn't on the radar.
Right.
So that's where these open tryouts really come into play. Like if Corey Adamson hasn't called you already, that means you're not on the radar. And that doesn't mean you're not good. It just means you need to get in front of us.
Every coach is going to start with a short list, right? Short list of guys that they want to bring. My job honestly, with the veterans and this being a first-year team is to create a culture. So I'm bringing in guys that are going to match the type of culture that we want. And that's everything from the playing style all the way through to what we're doing off the field during the off seasons, during season, during training, before training, after training. I want guys that want to come in and make the team better. And also, of course, we all want to make a name for ourselves. We're all, as athletes, we're always playing for the next contract. But ultimately, I want guys that are competitors that want to win here, that want to set the right pace and the right atmosphere to win a championship, and not just scoring titles or MVPs and in my opinion, fluff like that. So
I want some jewelry.
I'm telling you, man. You just kind of just slap it down on the table and order a drink. It sounds nice. Sounds nice when you got that big fat ring on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. So, and we've got a couple other guys that we're looking at from the open tryouts. I think people underestimate these things because a lot of clubs, especially established clubs, they'll use them kind of as fundraisers for the team.
Yep.
St. Louis back 2013, we had 140 guys come out for open
It was
tryouts
crazy.
for St. Louis Ambush.
It was crazy.
And we signed, what was it, 3 from that tryout, directly from that tryout. And then as the months went on, as we got more guys coming back from the off season and into preseason camps, we started signing more guys, and then more guys right now. There's several of them from that team that signed big contracts just this year with other teams around the league and stuff. So these open tryouts are huge. I mean, that's where I got picked up. That was where I got my shot.
I always talk about that. I was like, we didn't know who the hell Corey Adamson was.
Nobody did.
But he came out and he was out there banging around.
Guy that kept getting hurt and was too small, and I was 24 or 25 or something like that. Honestly, St. Louis was legitimately my last shot. That was going to be the last. I told everybody it was the last shot that I was going to go for. I went to 19 other ones before that. I never got a look, and I never got that opportunity. And you gave me that opportunity. Coach Daryl Duran gave me that opportunity, and
can't get away from you now, man.
I've always been wanting to give that back. I feel like I'm gonna be in debt for that forever. So
yeah, no, it's cool though.
What's that?
It's really cool though to see just even your development off the field and on the field since that time. I mean, it's great. That's why you're here right now.
Yeah.
Because you have grown so much in so many ways. That, I mean, you're going to be such a community asset here in Memphis. So I'm excited that we're able to reunite here and build something special. I mean, look at this arena behind me. I mean, it's a great facility.
That's amazing.
The fans here have been great.
Probably top 3 arenas that I've honestly been in.
Yep.
And we've been in a lot around the league. We've been in some wild places.
Well, you got support here too. The arena staff. The arena staff has been great. Like the community, the chambers. So it's like, we have to do our part, make sure we put together a good product. You're doing a heck of a job with, putting the players together. We got the players. Tell us about the 2 for the female, the women's team.
Yeah. So first, Alexis, we signed her. She's actually been playing in a lower level indoor league. So she actually comes with a lot of experience. She's played for the Haitian national team. She was assistant coaches everywhere. She's just a true student of the game, a great role model, and an excellent locker room presence. She's very, very professional. She's very, very, I would say like almost very independent. Like she's kind of her own brand already in a lot of different circles, and we're really excited to have her just be a part of a team, let alone to be on the field. I think from her IQ perspective, her technical ability, she's probably going to be best served as a midfielder. We'll kind of work and fit her in where best suits her, because she can also organize very well. So we may use her as a defender, from the back to be able to organize everybody in front. But she's a tremendous asset on and off the field. And I'm very, very excited that she decided to be a part of this.
It was great that she came into town this week too. We got to, spend some time, get her out at some of our appearances.
That says a lot about her character, her personality right there, is the fact she wants to devote herself to this community, and wants to be a part of it as soon as possible. And I think anytime you can find somebody like that, you got to get them involved in the organization. The fact that we got somebody like Chris, to be honest, we give him a lot of crap, but get somebody like Chris and
don't pump him up right now. Don't pump Chris up.
To come up here and be a part of this, man, it shows a lot. It shows a lot to the community. It shows a lot to the organization. And obviously the players are going to gravitate towards that too. So, culture setting, branding number 2 right there, and then Kristen Sparks. Kristen, I've actually known Kristen since St. Louis days, way back when, before she even went to SEMO. She started coming to ambush games and stuff like that. I even did a couple private trainings with her way back. It was like 2014 or I think 2015. And then she goes on to be a stud at SEMO. And after that, she's like, "Hey, I'm moving to Tennessee. You got a pro team there? I want to play. Let's go." And I was like, absolutely. She came out there. Her technical ability was excellent. She picked up the game very, very quickly. She's going to serve, I think, most likely in that target role as well, kind of like Jordy is. She's very strong on the ball. She's very quick. She's got a great nose for goal. She's got a great shot. And I'm pumped to have her. She's young. She's very moldable into this game. She's gonna have a long career here. So very excited to have her as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the talent level that we saw at the tryout is probably some of the best talent that I've seen at an open tryout. Now, we didn't have huge numbers. There might have been 40 or 50 people out there, but the quality of those 40 or 50 were definitely above what I've seen at most open workouts. And now that we are, more in the community now, we're getting our offices set up. We're signing players. Now, I know my email box has been blowing up with people wanting to try out. So I anticipate our next tryout, which is October 30th, to really have even more bodies out there, better talent, and just continue to build that. So, I mean, we're a team that will always, and from an ownership standpoint, the front office, I want as many local players as we can get, more people that have ties to the community. Obviously, Corey knows how competitive I am. So I definitely want to make sure that we're winning. So
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, you got to balance. You got to balance what, especially in professional sports, what is going to be the strongest team on the field versus strongest team off the field, because you've got to have a unified group, a group that has the strength to kind of grow together. Not kind of, but really grow together, because we all come in as individual athletes, and we've got to find a way to kind of unify all of them to be a part of this same growth and development plan, both on the field and off the field. We have. I feel strongly that we have a duty to the community to be as much a part of their lives as we want them to be a part of our lives. So, we want them to come and support us. We have to go out and support the community as well, and do as much as we can to make this place a better place. This is our home now, and bringing in local talent, like what we've seen so far, not only is beneficial on the field, obviously, because we had some studs come out there, especially on the female side. Holy crap! But also,
we invited a lot back too. So I mean, there's still a bunch that are probably going to get signed from that first tryout.
I would say a good 50% of our roster will probably be coming directly from these tryouts, if not more than that, because just because of the talent level and the fact that we have even a better ability to now connect with the community, get out there and help resolve some issues that are, kind of plaguing the city, or things that can just be improved upon. For me, meeting a professional player when I was growing up, Roy Laster, he was the MLS leading goal scorer for a couple of years in a row. He played for the Tampa Bay Mutiny. I remember so vividly meeting him, and it was just a high five session, and he signed some jerseys and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna be that guy. I want to be that kid, and that kept me out of a lot of trouble. I kept, because I was focused. I was focused on, I needed to be better in school in order to get to play in college, and in order to get to play in college, I had to be good on the field. So I had to go do those two things. So I didn't have time to go do a whole bunch of other reckless nonsense. I was driven. I was focused because I wanted to be like these people. So I think, I bring from St. Louis, I bring my youth teams down to Memphis a lot. We go to Mike Rose a lot, and we were talking about this at lunch today. From the female perspective, there's so many female soccer teams in the area. You go to Mike Rose, and over 60% of those teams that you see playing games out there, most of the time are female. So the fact that they now have female professional role models that are in their community, that are in front of them, that they can come watch and come see week in and week out, and they grew up the same way they did, that's huge for the community. That's huge. And the same thing on the guys' side too. So very excited to bring back some of these local guys. I called out of the first group, I think I called 15 or so directly, and I said, a couple of them we signed, but the remaining ones I said, I want you to work on this, and this, and I gave them, here's who to go watch on YouTube. Here's what to go watch. The position I want you to see. Let's see if you can bring that back next tryout and for the preseason camps and build off of that. And those are the guys and the girls that I want around. The ones that come back and did their homework. We're gonna nab them up big time. And like I said, it's gonna be a fun season.
Yeah. Well, I remember too when you came down to Tampa to meet with Michael Taylor, who's co-owner with me, and when we were courting you, trying to get you signed.
Boy, that steak was so good. Oh, that steak was something.
That was a good little spot. They got one of those here too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's a good, affordable restaurant.
That was a good call. It was a good call.
Seasons 52 is good. They got one, I think, close to Germantown here.
Yeah, we got one here. Yeah. We passed one on the way in.
Yep. So, but I remember. So, I mean, the first thing coaches are always talking about is like, what kind of budget, what kind of players can I sign? I want all these. I mean, you and I have been in the league for a long time, so we know pretty much all the players that have played. Yeah. We know every team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you look, it's funny. I looked and I started counting on the rosters. I was like, there's a player on 70% of the teams that has played for me at some point, or another. Yeah. And then I'm sure it's the same with you, because the players all move around a little here and there. So how tough was that? Like, because I mean, here's the thing. I am hyper competitive, but at the same time, I want to run a fiscally responsible team. Right. I don't want to win at all costs. I want to make sure that we're solid, both on the business side and then on the field. So you obviously know me from playing with the teams that I've had. How tough was that though? Because I didn't really paint a great picture for you. I mean, we were pretty blunt about it.
Yeah.
So how was that for you?
Honestly, well, one, it was something I expected too, but it's something I also agree with. There's so many guys that have reached out to me that will never bring in what they take, and people are shocked to hear the number that my max number that I ever made in St. Louis, the max number that I ever made either per game or on salary in St. Louis. They think I'm lying to them. They honestly think I'm lying to them. I never took more than I felt I gave back to any organization that I was a part of, and I feel like that's very important. I think if you want to make yourself more secure and you want to make a good name for yourself, you got to be able to do business well, and that was a good business move for me. It didn't really scare me because, quite frankly, and I'll say it sucks, but it hurt. Last year, we lost. We being the St. Louis Ambush lost in the playoffs to a team with a roster that was primarily first and second year guys. Primarily first and second year. Now they're talented. Don't think that that's a knock.
Oh, exactly.
That's just a talk.
But that's what
inexperience. Right?
People get caught up in. How many years have they played or the experience when there's so much talent out there.
Where were you at on the goal scoring chart and stuff like that?
Right. There's so much talent out there.
The reality is, it is virtually impossible to go through an entire indoor season and not register a point. It's not impossible. It's virtually impossible to do that because there's so many goals that are scored, right?
Yep.
So I need guys that can defend well, that are very intelligent, that can limit the amount of goals against while also being able to score those goals. So every player on the field is going to have to score a goal. Every player. All the defenders, all the midfielders, all the forwards, and shoot, even maybe a goalkeeper. But it also kind of reflects around the player's personality too, right? They were able to do that with a young group. Young players don't cost quite as much money because, once you get big and bad, you think you're worth X amount of dollars. When in reality, you're only worth what you give back to the team. That's it. And if you're an MVP kind of guy and you're bringing in a lot of people on season tickets and you're putting up those numbers, great. You should be making that money. But if you're not, you need to be thinking more of, all right, where's a good spot for me to either make money aside from the team, or if I'm just gonna do this just for fun, hey, who's gonna fly me in? Who's gonna give me a paycheck? And I know I don't want to be around those guys. I want to be around the guys that want to show up an hour early to training to work on some set pieces or some shots from a corner or just getting the ball at the sole of their foot, turning, playing it off the boards. I want to work on stuff that's indoor specific, and I want to do it with guys that want to get better and girls that want to get better. You know what I mean? I think too often we get caught up in the big names of MASL, and they're not going to bring me much more than maybe another kid that I find at a tryout, to be quite honest with you.
And I told you this from the beginning, is no one in Memphis knows Corey Adamson from before.
Right.
The reason I bring you here is because I know what you can do off the field and on the field. And so those are two very strong things. And I want you to teach these young kids that we're signing how to do that in the community, because you've been able to just make this your livelihood.
Yeah.
By building your own brand. And I want to help build brands. I want to help everyone,
man, I appreciate
because
that you helped me with the first one. So,
it helps. So, I mean, I am anyone who's followed any of the teams that I've had, I'm a very loyal person, and, I like to bring people in that I've worked with before. And obviously that's with you. And, even at one point I traded you, and then, you guys, you were probably, I was not your favorite person at the time, but I think it was the right move still.
Yeah,
and I think you're better for it.
100%.
And then, we brought you back. And so I really like to bring people back that I'm comfortable with and that I work well with. I mean, I am, like I said, very competitive, and I get a little crazy sometimes. But we just announced yesterday too, another signing who has played, on my team. You were a teammate. Yep. You know him well, and Peter Sliwa, the goalkeeper. So talk a little bit about that, how we kind of came up with Peter.
I'll tell you what, man. Pete's one of those guys that everybody knows Peter, because number one, he's an awesome dude. He's a great guy. He doesn't have many enemies, because he's always just been, very honest with people and open with people. He's an excellent goalkeeper. He's one of those guys that I've played with a lot, and I've scored very few goals against. Honestly, I think him and Rafa Diaz are really the only two goalkeepers that seem to have my number. Everybody else I don't have issues with, but those two guys, I think I've scored maybe 4 goals against Peter, and that's out of at least a dozen games, if not more than that. So he's got my number pretty good. So having him as a quality backstop, everything starts from back there. If you don't have a decent goalkeeper, it is a nightmare to play indoor soccer, because we rely so much of their ability on not just to make saves and split-second saves, be in the right position saves, but also with their feet. So you have to have a great IQ, and you also have to have phenomenal foot skills. He's got both of those things. He doesn't make the unbelievable, spectacular sprint, jumping out of the air saves, because he doesn't necessarily ever have to.
Are you saying he's not athletic? Is that?
I'm not saying not at all. That's not what I meant. You don't see him making those kind of poster. I call them poster saves. The new profile picture saves, because he never needs to, because he's always seems to be in the right position. I think even when we put the video up, I think it was one of his buddies there just talking crap about him. He's like, "Oh, we're putting up a video about him just getting shot at, like the ball's going right to him." Yeah, because he's always you see how close those guys are, but he's already right in front of them. He's already making himself big. Yeah. So he's a great asset on the field. Locker room presence, he's one of the top guys. I mean, he doesn't make waves. Yep. He gets in there. He'll get into guys if they're not working right. They're not doing their bit defensively or offensively. You're going to hear about it. And that's what you need. But also, he's a great he sets the tone well with guys. Sets the tone very well. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's done the same thing that you just talked about with me. He's gone off. He coaches, 15 freaking colleges or something like that. He does a great job making himself known in the community and leading in the locker room and out of the locker room. So I'm a huge fan of Pete. Huge fan of Pete. I'm very excited. He's pulling a Jordan coming out of retirement for this one. So
I know, and we must have hit him at the right time because it was like,
Yeah, right.
I didn't even have to do any selling on this one.
So I mean, when I got announced as the head coach, we first reached out. We were talking a little. I was like, "Hey man, if you want to get back in it, you just let me know." And he was like, "Oh, I'm retired. We'll talk. And then I was like, "Hey, what do you think, man? What do you think?" He'd comment on something I put up on social media, and I'd comment back. And finally, he was just like, "Hey, you should hit me up." I was like, "Let's go." And then we talked literally a couple days ago, and then right away called him up. He's like, "Cool, let's do it." So I'm excited to have him.
I know you got to get running. But
yeah,
we'll get you back on. When you in the next couple of days, because there's a lot more that I want to talk about.
Yep.
But you just recently bought a house in the Memphis area, so congrats. Congrats. But let's keep up the work. We got more players we're going to be announcing next week, and a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline. So we'll get you back on next week. Have a safe trip back, and talk to you soon.